Hello friends, thank you so much for watching. So I love trying new makeup and I feel like I try a fair amount of it, but still there's stuff that I feel like I've gotten behind on. Like maybe I should have tried longer ago, but I just somehow held off on. But I'm finally trying some of those things in this video. It's not a full face, but it's just some things, and we're gonna talk about them and use them today. I clap my hands in a fuzzy just yeah, these CoverGirl True Blend Skin Enhancers, everybody's been talking about them. First off, I do get an immediate turn off when I see everybody raving about something. I'm just kind of like, oh, okay. It's almost like hype can have the reverse effect on me sometimes, and it's also one of those things where if everybody already knows about it, is my voice on this even important? But then to top it off with those, it was like, I couldn't come across them anywhere in person. And then they were out of stock online on Ulta's website. And then I'm like, maybe Amazon? Because I heard somebody say they got them on Amazon, and that's where I went to. All this stuff is actually from Amazon. Maybe that might be my place I should think of a little more often when there's something I want that is not readily available where I am. But I need some coffee. Guys, we've had the crazy snow. Bub was scooping yesterday, he said over a foot. Bless his heart, on his birthday yesterday, Bub scooped our driveway. He went over to Mom and Dad's house. He was going to do our neighbor across the street, but then some guy showed up with a little gator thing to do that, and it was maybe like 10 degrees outside. Right now outside it is 4. We're having that really deep freeze after the storm now. There's no school today. It's a snow day. I'm shooting this on Monday. We did go out and play in it yesterday, and it was freezing cold. The snow was blowing. It was rough, but Rhett, he seems to have no radar for too much cold in his body. He just wants to stay out there continuously. His cheeks could be cherry red and he wants to stay out there. But anyway, we came here to talk about the makeup, and here's the first thing that I am going to throw on today. I got this. Yep, I got the primer that looks like a little bottle of glue. If Uga comes across this, he might start using it for some kind of craft, but this is the NYX The Face Glue Gripping Primer. Now, I've used this a couple times so far. Yeah, I am a little put off by the glue thing. Like, I've heard good things about it, but squeezing it out of this glue type bottle and then it actually does look like glue, I'm like, it has a thinness to it at first, and then you can kind of tell. I've said this about certain primers, like they go on pretty smooth, but then you can definitely tell, like, yeah, I've got something that feels really tacky and really hydrating on there. Now, yesterday I did put my makeup through a lot. I used this with a very reliable foundation, the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Skin Tint. And I was out in the cold and I was getting, slapped with some blowing snow in the face and all that. And it was just kind of a nonstop action kind of day, it felt like. So yeah, I did put it through some stuff, but my makeup looked very patchy toward the end of the day. I looked up close and I was like, Superstay Skin Tint doesn't usually wear like this, so I don't know. Maybe I'll put this through a more reasonable day, or let's face it, it's a snow day. I'll probably be out there again in it, but maybe I'll top it with a different foundation today just to see. But yeah, it went on thinner than, like, let's say the e.l.f. Power Grip, but my skin does feel like very hydrated and tacky now that it's there. Here's another thing I can put on at this phase of the game. Very shortly after I found those roll-on glosses at the dollar store, you know what came up for me on the makeup I was looking at on Amazon? This Lip Smacker Rolly. Yes, Lip Smacker, the OG, has released roll-on lip glosses again. So it's called Rolly, and I chose the peach scent, and this has got to be the best, if not one of the best, peach scents in makeup. Oh, I am taken back. They know how to do that rollerball. It's that metal rollerball. Okay, that stainless steel. Feels cooling going across. Just the right amount deposited. Colorless, yes, but you can use this at the start of the routine, just kind of soften up the lips. I'm loving it. I would have to say, and it is, a few dollars more, but this is probably outperforming my other roller balls. The Dollar Tree ones win for cuteness. They got flowers inside and they've got balls inside, but this one, just for the mechanism, like, it's probably the best as far as that goes. That ball wants to roll. And I don't know if you can tell, but I've got some shine on there. Texture is not too thin, not too runny, you know? And the peach scent is wildly good. They had several scents to choose from. This probably doesn't qualify for the actual heading of this video because once I saw it, I definitely pounced on it immediately. It wasn't something I showed any restraint for. The rest of these things I did. Okay guys, I've applied my face steps on top of that primer. I went with a hardcore staying power master here. I used the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage. We will see today how that wears. This one's super reliable and I've worn lots of different primers under it, but if it randomly fails me today, I'm gonna know it was this one's fault. This should be good for it. I mean, it's supposed to be. It's a gripping primer. It should extend the wear of everything. Hopefully it goes well today with the Catrice. And then I used my brightening concealer from Revlon, the Glimmer stuff. It's just kind of my newest thing, concealer-wise. I mentioned it a couple videos ago. It does a good job, you know? It is brightening, and it does have some coverage to it. It's not the most coverage, but I'm not really complaining about it. So I think that worked well. And then I did my Coty Airspun. I was feeling like Airspun today, translucent extra coverage. Somebody said they changed the formula on that recently. Is this a widely known thing, and what is it like? I don't know. And then I used a little bit of my Clean Invisible pressed powder. I have that in the shade, by the way, Classic Beige. I just put that everywhere where I didn't put the Airspun. And now we're ready to jump into these guys, okay? CoverGirl True Blend Skin Enhancers. Everybody's saying these are like a drugstore take on Hourglass powders. I love the Hourglass powders. I keep up with those multi-palettes, but I'm also thinking about Laura Geller. Laura Geller baked stuff is really, really good. And with this stuff, if it's showing stronger pigmentation than Hourglass, I think it's pointing at more of a Laura Geller dupe. But I got the shade Caramel Truffle in the bronzer. I could have gone lighter. Was this like the second to deepest tone? It does seem fairly strongly pigmented, but there's quite a bit of glow in there. Is everybody looking for lots of sheen in their bronzer? I'm gonna pop this on today. I've used this a couple times, but I've also used it with having some other contour on my face, and I want to just look at it as is today. Where I'd put bronzer, the pigment looks really good. It's actually showing up right away. I feel like it is showing up with stronger pigment than my Hourglass bronzers that I've encountered within various palettes and just solo. And it's not like the product is ultra soft, like you're not seeing a cloud kick up there when I go in with my brush. But it's just not taking a lot to build up. Doing a little contour with it, seeing if I can like that. Now it does, again, have that little bit of glow. It's not showing up as profoundly glowy as it does in a concentrated swatch on your finger, but it's got some sheen that's very subtle, really, once it shears out on my skin. And in terms of the colors that are swirled in here, we do have what seems like kind of a cooler tan, and then smaller little areas of bronze, little flecks of bronze. Again, with most of the Hourglass bronzers I've encountered, you'd have to spend a little more time building to get to the place that I'm at now with this. It's almost like Laura Geller-esque pigment, more of an Hourglass sheen and finish. But I like that. I mean, using it just solo, not paired with a contour stick, it's doing really well. I even kind of want to put it more tops of the cheeks, just whatever's left on the brush. Caramel Truffle. Enjoying that. And then I chose two of the blushes. Even on Amazon, there was one shade at least that was out of stock, but I could get this one, this berry color. Remember guys, in the Swan palette, there's something that looked a lot like that, yes. The Swan palette looks heavier on the pink swirl, and this one looks heavier on the plumminess, and the plummy swirls in this look more straight up purpley. This one looks like it has a little less marbling. This one is called Please Please Pink, and this one is Berry Punch, okay? So let's get you up close on this lighter pink one. There is that baked marbling effect, but it's not quite so pronounced in terms of differing tones. If you get this swatched on a finger, you can see, you know, that pinky color. Seems pretty nicely pigmented going in with my e.l.f. blush brush here. And I'm going to take this right here, outer part of the apple of my cheek and on up. That's nice. The sheen on this one seems extremely subtle. Like even to look at a swatch on your finger, you have to look for the sheen. It's not ultra glowy, which I kind of like. It's almost blurring my skin a little bit more because it's not quite so shiny. What do you think of that? I think it's pretty. For just the finished look on my cheeks, it's not really making me think, oh my gosh, something wildly different than anything I've used. I mean, I've used a lot of classic pinky blushes. This is nice. I'm not complaining about it, but it's not behaving like anything wildly different. So far, it's the bronzer that's impressed me most because of its ability to not be super cloud of dust, hard to manage, but showing up still with strong pigment and me not having to build it up so much. This guy though, I've played with this a little bit. Look at the purpliness swirled with the hot pink. Berry Punch, again, is my shade here. So I'm gonna go into just the top area there where I feel like you're getting a lot of everything that this blush has to offer. Couple little taps in, and we're gonna blend this kind of out here. This one just shows a lot on my skin. The first time I used it, I felt like I definitely went overboard. Here I'm trying to be really soft and cautious, trying to not overlap the exact area where I did the lighter pink. As you can see, going a little lower and a little further back, just so you can maybe hone in on where it is. I like this a lot. I think this is very unique. And I think it's just straight up giving off more than the Hourglass shade does in my Swan palette. If you were thinking about getting two, like these two do seem to look good together, but when you sheer out a shade like this purpley tone, what you end up with is a really like cool pinkiness. It's a fun shade. And from Hourglass, it's like just a little softer. I mean, when I swatch both of them, they really come off like, even though they look similar in the pan and you're making that connection, look how different they actually are in a swatch. So much more like kind of mauve actually from the Hourglass, and strong purpley vibes with the CoverGirl. But when that purple shears out, it's like the coolest of berry pinks. Interesting, fun, I like it. This is nice, but didn't wow me for being like something totally new and different. These two are kind of the most impressive to me. And I'll keep playing with them, you know? I'll keep having fun with that. I feel really glad that I've tried it and I see like what the hype is about. I'm really liking that the bronzer didn't deposit too much glow on my skin, because sometimes up on the forehead, that's an area where, you know, I've got some fine lines. I'm not wanting them to show extra, and sometimes glowy bronzers can be a real culprit there because you're tempted to apply them over such a broad surface area. And with highlighter, you know, I might be real careful and just get it in certain spaces. But bronzers, you know, wider surface area, it's like you're throwing the shimmer wide if you're using a shimmery bronzer, and this seemed very soft and subtle in that regard. Since the CoverGirl stuff, all I did was fill in my brows. I used my Benefit Precisely, my brow pencil, shade is 4. Sorry for the mirror getting in the way there. And it brings me to another thing that I've been meaning to try for a while. It's the Maybelline Super Lock. Okay, Super Lock Tinted Brow Glue. Glue is really becoming a buzzword, isn't it? It doesn't say on the tube, but I got this in the deep brown shade. Now, part of why I held off on this one was because I love Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt, aka Express Brow. I love that stuff. I adore the brush. I love the hold. I love everything about that. I feel like that is my pinnacle for a tinted brow gel, and I don't really need to look further, but I keep seeing people saying how good this is. And I'm thinking, is it just because it's got a lavender cap and it's newer? Like, why are we fixating on this? But I had to try it for myself. So I can see immediately that it's a different kind of consistency. As I pull it out of the tube, I can almost tell that waxiness is at the tip of my brush. And the brush is not like Brow Fast Sculpt. It's just a mini brush. There's not like one end with longer bristles, one end with shorter bristles. It's just an all in all like compact sized brush, a little bigger than Benefit Gimme Brow, if you're familiar with that. But it does have that tint. And then I put it in my brows and I just kind of brush up, and I do indeed feel the hold people are talking about. And it might be even more immediate. Like when I put that in my brows, I just right away feel it kind of locking in there. But I would have to say the Express Brow gets me there as well, but maybe it like takes a couple seconds for me to feel that way. And here it's like, as it passes through, I'm like, whoa, that is really holding. And it is also providing some tint. I haven't tried to do my brow from scratch with this and only this. I feel like just looking at the consistency of that color, I feel like it's less opaque than what's contained in the Brow Fast Sculpt. Because if I take that, this is what I'm talking about here. It definitely does seem more opaque than the glue or the Super Lock. It'll be interesting to see how this can tackle a brow with no additional fill-in, but what I can tell you is that I do feel that hold immediately on contact. The way the formula is with the Brow Fast Sculpt, it might take a second or two, but I do most definitely feel my brows freezing in place with that too. I don't know, so far I would have to say it's good. It's doing a good job. It's doing a very good job on hold. When your brow is already filled in, it gives that little extra tint that definitely did kind of like add to an area where I needed maybe a bit more coverage in the brow. So I would have to say it's really good, but I'm not feeling like, oh my gosh, this is so head and shoulders above what I've loved from Maybelline with Brow Fast Sculpt. And again, it's not giving you that brilliant brush that practically makes the product be a 2-in-1. I'll have to see if this makes me struggle quite a bit to fill in my brows with this and only this. That's to be determined, but I just wanted you to see I got it finally, and I will be experimenting more. Alrighty guys, I did my eye, and I probably should have done it on camera because I used the bronzer as my eyeshadow, but it's very self-explanatory and easy. Used a crease brush in my crease and I patted it on the lid, and yes, it becomes a nice little bronzy one shadow look, so that's nice. And then I brought in these two little partners in crime, Brown Abyss. Oh my gosh, she's trying to eat the garland. As I was saying, I use these two. Upper lash line is Brown Abyss, lower lash line is Magnetic Bronze, L'Oreal Lace Shadow Sticks. Love them, love them, love them. And then my upper mascara, I use this Rimmel Scandalized Volume on Demand, which is actually a really good mascara. Like, it can really do something. And on my lower lash line, I used e.l.f. Lash Extender. No surprise there. And then that brings me to my last thing that I really have been meaning to try. It's this product from NYX called Smushy Matte Lip Balm. Look at this. It's got this little ball at the end. It can also stand up on end, which is cute. I got the shade Squeeze and Sizzle, and it's just so cute. And this really does look neat on my lips. I've tried it once. I'm gonna take off the glossy roll-on stuff. So you're gonna squeeze it out of here, which I would prefer a doe foot, but whatever. Get it on your lips. It smells so strong. So sweet and fruity, smelling like some kind of candy. But I'm spreading it out on my lips. Get some more out here. It's just gonna be easier with my finger. But it almost feels like it has a stretch to it, like it's stretching across my lips. So I wore this like hot pink shirt, and this is definitely more reddish than pink, but that's okay. It's just, I gotta show you. Need to squeeze a little more out. Another little bead of product here, smoothing it on. It's so good about not looking streaky, and it instead is looking very, very pillowy. Almost like, would you even want to mess this pillowy look up with a bunch of lip liner? Like, look at this. So smooth. I need to even it out just a little bit there. I love it. It feels so soft. I do feel like I have some moisture on my lips when I press them together, which is kind of fascinating because, oh, look who's creeping around back there again. I said no. I said no. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you are an angel. Yes, I appreciate that. But there's moisture going on, but to look at my lips, you wouldn't think there's any moisture. It looks like the softest blotted lip vibe. My lips look fuller somehow. I like this. I like this a lot. And I feel like this might be the pinnacle for a shade I'd want in this too. So I don't know that I really even feel like I need to try a bunch more colors. I like this. Smushy. Good name for it. Good name. So yeah, in terms of this stuff that I've tried, I got it all on Amazon, and I would say the lip products are immediate hits. I love the Peach Rollerball Lip Smacker. It's called Rolly, and I love the Smushy Matte Lip Balm. This especially, like, wow. This is a wow product for me. I love the way that looks. The layer of moisture that it's giving is something that a pure liquid stain can't really give. That's what's making my lips look fuller and more pillowy, is because there is truly a layer of something on there, but it doesn't look like there's a layer of something. It just looks like my lips are fuller. You know what I mean? Crazy. Those are immediate yeses. This is to be continued. I'm not quite sold on it yet. This amazing hold, but maybe still falling a little shy of what Brow Fast Sculpt is going to be able to do because of that special brush, but I will still try it on its own. And these products, happy to have tried them finally. I think the bronzer is my favorite thing, just because I really love what that was capable of doing, giving me some pigment, not too much glow, hitting a real sweet spot there on the finish. And I just really like the tone. This, again, as I said, nothing groundbreaking in terms of a soft pink blush, but nice. And this Berry Punch is just like, sometimes I turn my head, especially here in person, I'm like, there's really a major blush going on there. But then head on, it's like, not that. I really did put some on today so you could see it. I like that. I like that. That's definitely unique. It's most definitely unlike any other blush that I have. For as much purple that's in here, and it does make you think Hourglass, but that's on looks, that's on appearance alone, because if you actually swatch the products, they're different colors. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Let me know if you've got any product recommendations, any things you'd like me to check out, leave it in the comments, and I'll see you soon. I love you. Bye.